Hi everybody, just a quick update regarding the shack. A couple of new bits I've got, and just what I'm still doing in here, and things I like playing around with. Got loads to do as normal. What can you say? Right, one of my new things is this. It's a multi-switching device. So on the front there you've got two mic inputs on the front and two auxiliary ones on the back, and you can connect up to 4 radios to it. So on the front here, 4 switches, so 4 different microphones, and on the side just there you've got 4 different radios you can connect to. On the bottom there you've got the audio, how loud you want the mic to go through and everything. So absolutely brilliant that is. Saved me a hell of a lot of the time in getting some kind of switch box or something like that. And what I've got on there now, this one here is coming from, so I've got a mic here, that's a Rode Procaster. That goes down into a W2 IHY dual gate, dual band audio EQ with noise gate and everything, and then that comes from there into the box. That's the one on the first mic. The second mic is my PR781, and that goes into number 2. I've not got nothing on auxiliary 2 and 3 at the moment. And the 3 radios, the first radio is the FT991, second radio is the Flex 3000, and the third radio goes to the 7800. So absolutely brilliant that box is. So what we got in the shack now, was Xbox still there, my 991 come back from Yaesu UK, all repaired, no problem at all now, works fantastic, the ATU and everything. The other piece I've got is there's my 600 Pro 2, and now I've got the meter for it as well. It's like everything, I don't buy brand new equipment, very rarely. I always buy second hand, and I've been very lucky. I've had no problems really at all, and I pay half the price. That's the best thing about it. So that's what I've got now. So audio's been set up on the 991, which is now fantastic, in my opinion. And my dummy load and watt meter from MFJ, thanks to my friend Charlie G0CBM, he fixed that for me. So everything's working now, which is brilliant. I've got a few different systems, different antennas. As you can see, there's my antennas up there looking out of the webcam. Okay, what have I got set up? 991. Okay, with that I've just got the Rode Procaster, as I say, with the W2 IHY dual band audio EQ, going in from my multi-switcher for the mic and everything, and that now goes into the BLA 350. So radio, BLA 350, goes into my MFJ SWR watt meter, and then that comes out into my dummy load and watt meter. So that goes up to supposedly 3K. 3 kilowatt, but 1500 watts for about 10 seconds. But it only does between, depends how you tune it up, anything between let's say 300 and 500 watts, anything on there. So that's that now set up, so that's working very good. 2000 FT2000, and with that I've got all my audio gear here, and that works very, very well. So it's all my Behringer gear, and that works very well. So that's for ESSB, 4K wide. I've set the audio up on these radios as best as I can to get the best audio out of it I can. And my 991 now does 3K. My 2000 does 4K. My 847 still the same, 2.4K. Very good radio though. My 991's taken over from my 847, but once I get sorted out with some antennas with this for VHF UHF, because I've put my VHF UHF beams in that on my 991 to give that a try. So with the 2000, that goes into my Expert 1K, and I only use 2000 and 1K, not much, so I like to just use the 100 watts from the FT2000 because of the audio and everything. I like to make sure everything, I don't really need to get that far really, just 40 and 80 and 20, or if I'm talking to somebody that's into ESSB, and get the good audio from it. From that, let's go across to the 7600. This is like my DX baby type thing, because it's very, very good on receive and transmit. To use the Expert 1K, all I use is 5 watts. That's all you need to do. Same as the FT2000. It's only on 5 watts for the amplifier. I get 400 watts out easy, no problem at all. And this has got the latest firmware, software. Same as all the radios are up to date with the latest firmware and everything, to make sure you get the best out of it. So with the 7600, as I say, that goes into my multi-switch from the PR781 straight into that box, and then straight up to the radio. And on that I've got a 3.2K audio set up on there, with the way I've set the audio from what some people have told me the best way to do, and receive 3.6K. That's what I've done on that. So that's HF all covered, and VHF UHF. And then, as you see here, my Flex 3000 got an SDR. Very, very good software. It's been updated by KE9NS, and that works very well. I've only on Windows XP for this, so if you go on to Windows 7 or higher, then you can get all the latest updates from KE9NS, and he's working on loads of updates for the Flex 1500, 3000, 5000, because with the Flex 6000 upwards, their software is being updated all the time. But with the 1000, 1500, 3000, 5000, nothing's been really done about it, except for KE9NS is updating it all the time. So look on YouTube, and you'll be able to see the updates there. And what I use as well is this Hercules DJ controller, and that works the flex. I just need to press on here. I've got start, so I press start, and there you go. There's the flex up and running. So what I've done, I've got, at the moment, that's the audio coming from my monitor speakers. Got two of them, and that's set up on the i+. So all I've do there is, there's a switch on the side. Got ICOM FT2000 and flex. So to get the best of the audio, i.e. receive audio, I can switch between each radio on there, and depending which radio I'm using, get the best audio from it. Whether it's the SSB, whether I'm doing any DX, or once again with the flex with DX, plus that is brilliant. The only thing I've found out of a lot of them, if you've not got an amplifier or anything like that, then with the flex, the 7600, I think they're the only ones that you don't get full power, i.e. 100 watts. If you set them up correctly by the manual, say the 7600, with the manual on there, it tells you how to set everything up. But then there's one part there where you've got to go onto your levels, and it's a drive gain. So you've got to set everything up right, ALC up to 9, then go onto your compression, get your compression between 3 and 5, and if you don't get it right, then you've got to bring your drive gain down until it's between 3 and 5, and then you're just right there. But the only thing is there, with the drive gain, if you get about 50 or more, then you've got your full 100 watts. But if you go in less, then it knocks your power down. I've probably got about 80 watts out of my 7600. So that is a little bit weird. But it depends on what you're doing yourself. So for me, I'm not too bothered, because I use 80 watts or whatever down on most bands. Unless there's any DX, then I'll use the Expert 1K on half power, and I'll get, as I say, with 5 watts, I'll get 400 watts without any problem. But with the flex, there's the G7, that's G7 NCI, I think. I'm not quite sure of his call sign. He's done some brilliant videos, how to set the audio up on the flex. And you can get them on YouTube, just do a search. The guy's a G7, but it's fantastic how he's gone through everything. There's a few guys that's actually done audio videos for the flex. If you've got 1,000, 1,500, 3,000 or 5,000, then pop onto YouTube and look at their videos. There's a couple that get you working almost straight away, and then there's one from the G7 guy. He goes through the whole lot of it. So it's about a 25-minute video, something like that, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. But he goes through everything, how to set it all up. And I think I get out of the flex how I've set it up through the videos I've watched, around about 90 watts. But I've not connected my flex up to any amplifier or anything. I'm just using the flex with whatever power comes out of it. I've set it to 3K as well on transmit. Receive, you can go anything up to 5K. You can even go further than that. Just depends what you want to do. But for listening to some really good audio, I listen around about 3.3 or 3.8, depending who's actually talking on there. So through the Flex, because the 7600 and FT2000 now go through my Expert, that's all automatic. It's got the amplifier in there, it's got the auto ATU, so everything's done on that piece of kit. You don't need any ATU, no nothing, just connect your antennas to it, connect your radio to it, done. BLA 350, you've got to go through an ATU and all the rest of it, because it's just a amplifier. And with the Flex 3000, I've got the Elecraft, as you can see there, Elecraft W2. That does the SWR and everything. And at the bottom here, I've got the, I should show you, the 100 Pro 2. So that does the ATU for it. They've all got ATUs inside, except for my 847. That's not got an ATU inside, but then that goes through to the LDG 600 Pro 2 anyway. So I've just got a switch just there, and that either goes from the 991 or the 847. So everything's covered with ATUs and everything. I don't use the internal ones. I make sure they all work now. So anytime you get a new radio, always make sure that your ATU works in there. I didn't with my 991 after I had it repaired, and got it sorted by Yaesu because one of the connectors come off on shipping. And with the FT2000, the DM2000, you get that. That's how I've set mine up. With the Spectrum display, well, that one's a lot better. The 6000's a lot better, but with the 3000, I think this is the maximum you get. Let's just move it across, center that, and there you go. So you've got a good span, and at the moment, let's just wind this down. There's a nice noise once again on 40 meters, as you can see just here. Nice noise. We've been getting that on 40 meters and some of the other bands every now and again, and it does wipe quite a bit. So that's around about 10 or more K wide. So with programs and everything, for the logbook I use Log4OM, and every now and again I back it down onto my backup hard drives. One's there, one there, one's 2 terabyte and one's 750 gig. One computer there that just controls audio and everything from the FT2000. This is my main laptop that controls most of the radios and logging programs and everything. So, as I say, that's what's new in my shack. I've still got my 5100 and FT400. That's the ICOM 5100, and that's the FT400 that I've got on my Wires X. That's connected to the local area, so everybody can get on there. Another very good radio is the FT2. Absolute brilliant handheld for Fusion. I use this most of the time when using Fusion. I'll go through my Wires X. I use my 991 sometimes just to listen, because mostly it's on either HF or VHF UHF. And as normal, I've still got my 92D.
Right. Yeah, I believe it is, Mark. I don't know what the London times are.
And that's on my node, D-Star node, and that works very well. It's got the GPS mic with it, so if I'm out and about anywhere, at least I can show exactly where I am when I'm out, either walking anywhere or anything really, mobile or that. So that's really the new thing that I'm using. Still got my VHF, UHF, my Kenwood there, and my DR635. They're my backups in case I need to use hotspot with a little bit more power for myself. The only other things, as I've already shown, my Yaesu G1000 DXC. I always leave that on south because the wind's up where we are. They're always usually coming up southwise, so I'll leave it there. My nice massive MFJ 868. That's not gone onto the radios at the moment. It will at some point when I've got another shack sorted out, but this is my main one at the moment. And everything's working as it should be. Got a few, or one new antenna, and that works on my 7600 or my FT2000, and that's the Butternut HF2V 1480 meter vertical. I use that quite a lot. I've still got my MTD3 connected to these two radios, and it works very well. I switch between both, see which signals I can get best from whichever antenna, and a lot of the time it's the vertical. I've stuck on my Flex. I've now put my Hustler 6BTV on there, because that works very well on there. So that's now connected to the Flex all the time. I think all the other antennas are connected to the Expert 1K as normal, with the 991 and the 847 switch between either a Cobweb or a full-size G5 RV. And I've got a couple of beams for 2 and 70. I've got to put one up for 6 meters as well when I get time. Like anything with time. But audio gear now, I'm sorted out. I've got to put this Ultra Curve Pro 2496 onto my audio gear sometime as well. Not connected it up yet. So that's another part of the project for getting the audio sorted out. So that's what I've been doing over the last few months, getting everything sorted out in the shack with antennas and with the radios, and sorting out what route to go with the 991 and whether put an amplifier onto it, and if and when needed. So that's all the amplifiers are for. If and when needed, they're there. And they all work very well now. So that's just my update with whatever new audio stuff I've got, and hopefully it's a bit more information. Like I say, with the multi-switch unit, there is another piece to it, but I've not seen it yet, and that's for the antennas. Once again, you can, like the mics and everything that goes on there, with the 4 mics inputs and 4 mics going out to 4 different radios. 4 different radios with 4 different antennas. That's the other piece of unit as well. And if I see one on eBay or one of the other sites and I can get it for the right price, then I'll pick that unit up as well, because they're about £300 each. I only paid just over £100 for that, which was very good. Something usually comes up at the right time. Like I say, at the right price. I don't pay over the odds. I like to get a good deal on my radio gear and enjoy them. Okay guys, that's about it for now from M0AOV. If you got anything to add, just pop it down below. Thanks very much.